Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spill the Tea Radio, where we interview awesome singer-songwriters and those who influence their lives. Spill the Tea Radio explores the journey, creativity, and inspiration behind the songs. My next guest is renowned for her distinctive vocal style, articulate diction, and expressive phrasing. Calgary vocalist. She is recognized for her unwavering commitment to featuring the works of Canadian songwriters in her repertoire. Her performances guide the audience along the path of her emotional roots. Her discography includes 4 studio albums. Her latest, from 2024, is her sophomore album, Horns of Hope, which was released on a boutique label, Chronograph Records. So, let's spill the tea with Aimee Jo Benoit. Welcome, Aimee Jo.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, first of all, let's talk about your musical family. You mentioned that before we got on the air about mom and dad. No real musical influences from there. So, where did you get your musical influence from?
Well, I mean, I think it was kind of from church, really. It started there, started in choir, and choir at school as well. So when I was quite young, we always sang in church, and my parents sang. My parents both have lovely voices, actually, and they love music. But there wasn't really any family jams at our house. Maybe just when we were listening to ABBA while my mom was cleaning. So I have some pretty diverse kind of starting influences in my life, like with choir, but also our family's French, and we when we would get together, we would listen to Nana Mouskouri, and we would listen to Elvis Presley, and we would listen to like I said, ABBA, and so I have kind of this dynamic early musical, coinciding with church hymns and little church songs, for preschool, that kind of started the fire, I would say.
So when you have all of those different influences, how do you land on a genre that you're going to focus your music in?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because I can't tell you exactly how I've kind of explored all of these different genres by, I was in a large ensemble kind of pop folk band in my early 20s. I was doing, restaurant jazz gigs in my early 20s, doing some backups for some friends' bands who were a little more math rock. And at the time, listening to a lot of community radio. And what I discovered was that it felt like jazz, and I've kind of alluded to this in the past, where it's like the nest that envelops everything for me, because I can be myself and explore, and there's no real there seemingly is like a role for women in jazz, I think, as like traditional vocalists, but I actually found the opposite for myself, to explore my musical kind of insides through this kind of genre.
Many artists that I interview, when I look at them and then I hear their music and I say, yeah, your music fits your look. Does anyone ever say to you, Aimee Jo, your music doesn't fit your look? Like if you hear the music and then you see the person, the things don't go together.
100%.
And that is that's not anything derogatory.
No.
It just is. Do you get that, where people look and say, wow,
oh yeah, like
you sing very differently?
My singing voice, a lot of people and especially close friends, that when I first started singing, out in public, they were very shocked. And actually recently, one of my high school, childhood friends was telling me about the first time she heard me sing, and it was at a camping trip that we went on. I think we were in grade 10 or something like that. And she was reminiscing about the feeling she had and how it was that kind of cognitive dissonance. And I don't know what it is. I mean, I know my speaking voice is very different than my singing voice. I think singing for me, I really reach a different place in myself. And so maybe that's why, there's less fear for me in when I'm singing, as opposed to when I'm just interacting with people.
Now you have a husband that's musical. He plays and he writes. I do find that as well. A lot of artists tend to gravitate to partners that are also musical. Was it music that brought you two together and spawned this wonderful relationship that's produced three great kids as well?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely music. We met on a camping trip, and we had both gotten in late the same evening, and so we didn't really meet each other, but we were all kind of sitting around this campfire, and Chris had his guitar and started playing a few of his songs and some more popular songs, and then my friend and I just started harmonizing with him on his song, and then that was kind of the start of the spark for me. And then the next couple of days after that, I really fell hard. And music has definitely been, we don't have a lot of opportunities to play and sing together because of our life, but we've made the effort to do times, and they're great.
Help us understand what the music and the jazz scene is, where you live, because you live in Calgary.
I live in
And
Calgary, yeah.
and I got an education on the jazz scene in Edmonton, which I had no idea existed.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got a real appreciation of what that jazz scene is like. Help us understand across Canada, because we're heard right from Vancouver out to Newfoundland. Help us understand what the music scene and the jazz scene is like in Calgary.
We have an incredible scene here in terms of the quality of musicians that are living and working in this city. I was born and raised here, but I didn't really know about it until university, when I was dating someone who worked in community radio, and he was also a jazz drummer going to school here in Calgary. Because of that interaction, that first interaction, I was, basically put out to swim in this pool of amazing people that I've watched grow and develop over time to become world-class musicians. How, it's an incredibly difficult thing to grow out here. And some of the work that I'm doing outside of being a musician, I sit on a board for Buckingham Music Foundation, which is started as a house concert series for touring jazz artists. And now we're working on other ventures as well. But we really have to work hard to educate folk about the diversity in the jazz genre here. Most venues that host small, 60 to 100 seaters, we're doing really well. Our local musicians have good followers. A lot of them play in the Philharmonic. A lot of them teach in the schools. It's an incredible group of people. I'm lucky to be a part of it, really. Thanks.
So let's get into one of the songs that Aimee Jo wrote. This song is a haunting interpretation of a song that has had many voices sing the lyrics. Aimee Jo reaches to great heights to meet the imagery evoked by the layered trumpet and dark bass notes struck on the piano. Let's take a listen to Aimee Jo Benoit and her song, Where Will I Be?
The streets are cracked, there's glass everywhere. The baby stares out with motherless eyes under long gone beauty on fields of war, trapped in lament to the poet's core. Oh, where will I be? Oh, where, when that trumpet sounds? Met an Indian boy in Ottawa. He laid me down on a bed of straw. Said, don't waste your breath, don't waste your heart, don't blister your heels running in the dark. Oh, where will I be? Oh, where, when that trumpet sounds? Yeah, like the heat of your body laying under me. May your wild lips get you where you're going with your inventions, your intentions, your laughter, your forever yearning. Oh, where will I be? Oh, where, when that trumpet sounds? I walk to the river, I walk to the rim, I walk to the teeth of the reaper's grin. I walk to you, rolled up in wire, to the other side of desire. Oh, where will I be? Oh, where, when that trumpet sounds? Oh, when that trumpet sounds? Oh, when that trumpet sounds? Well, the heart opens wide like it's never seen love, and addiction stays on tight like a glove. Oh, where will I be?
That was Where Will I Be by Aimee Jo Benoit. Aimee Jo, why is, what was that song? What drew you to that song to work on it?
I've definitely been a lover of Daniel Lanois since my early teens. My brother listened to him a lot, and just by osmosis, I kind of came to know his discography. And in my early 20s, I came across, a bin of CDs in our favorite local record store that was Emmylou Harris's Wrecking Ball. And I probably listened to that album, for a month straight after I got it. And when I was thinking about the theme of the album, and the whole purpose of this album was to explore grief, and how do we express it? How do we get through it? what are some of the thoughts that we're thinking about, when something tragic happens, those kinds of things. And that question of where will I be really hit hard for me because, I was raised in the church. I'm raised Christian. And I'd never really questioned before the existence of God, and or what kind of God exists. And so that, thinking about that, where will I be when the trumpet sounds? So that imagery is very ingrained in me, and how I was raised, and it kind of just stuck. And amazingly, it was also a track that Karsten had put on the list, so it kind of seemed like kismet that we needed to explore it.
So how do people find out more about you, where you're going to be gigging, what you're up to, your new music coming out? What's the website? What are the socials that they can find out more about you?
Yeah, so my website's aimeejobenoit.com. I have a blog on there called Mother Music Hood that I also write about my experiences as a mother and a musician. And I'm on socials. Aimee Jo Benoit Music is the handle for most of the socials, as well as my YouTube channel. And all my gigs are posted on the website, and I do share them on the socials as well.
And so for the poor English speaking only people that listen to the show, you need to spell your name because it's very French.
AIMEEJO Benoit, BENOIT.com.
We have been in conversation with Aimee Jo Benoit. Aimee, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, David.